What's up, guys? I'm Doug DeMarco, and this is going to be more of a serious video because we're going to be talking about fraud, theft, and just overall scams in the mystery box or subscription box industry. Now, this is going to be something of a diatribe, just an angry rant, because I've tried to record this many times, and I think I've got a thought process through that will keep me from becoming angry and throwing things. Because the problem with mystery boxes and subscription boxes in Told is that you're trusting a company. And that's fine. We trust companies every day of our lives. But we're trusting companies sight unseen who, for the most part, interact with us in a way that makes them dangerously friendly. And what I mean by that is you're willing to forgive mistakes that you normally wouldn't, and behaviors that you would not tolerate. So the main subject of this is going to be Dread Central, which is the proprietor of the Box of Dread, and true to its name. Now, this looks like every other subscription box. This is a horror-themed subscription box that I originally subscribed to back in May when I was asking for recommendations. And going through and looking at, what is it? I think it's the Rue Morgue coffin box, which I still haven't been able to subscribe to. Fright Crate, which has been a breath of fresh air as far as subscription boxes goes. I think Spooky Crate, which turned out not shipping at all and I got my money back on, and Creeper Crate, which was okay, but you really have to love what you're hoping to get. Now, the Box of Dread is something completely different. Like I said, I subscribed to it in May. They didn't ship in June, they didn't ship in July, and they didn't ship in August. 3 months. Now, by I think it was August when they had snuck in that third credit card charge, that I was like, oh, because I'd almost forgotten that I had actually subscribed to this. And they had been posting about delays, blaming vendors, blaming shipments, and we're going to go through the reasons given and why some of those reasons will be valid, why some of them wouldn't be valid. So this is going to be a very long video. I'm going to try and maybe provide timestamps below so you can get through certain things, but in any case, they finally shipped 3 months of stuff in a single box. And this is the box. This is a standard medium-sized box that you would get 1 month of items in. Now, they said they shipped 3 months of items in this. And then they didn't. Because we're still missing items, missing t-shirts, which you can only get if you subscribe to the next month's box. So, let's take this back to May, when they started issuing, I guess, apologies. Let's put that nicely, apologies for late shipping. First, they blamed the vendor, which is fine. With the mystery box subscription service and boxes overall like this, when you place an order in for a vendor, that you're very much depending on that vendor to fulfill that order. And for the most part, especially for non-exclusive items, most vendors don't have any problem getting these items, or you can source them from another area. So that's a little fishy, let me put it that way. When a subscription box service blames a vendor for a problem, you have to really look at what the item is. Now, if the item is a t-shirt, that's not an excuse. There are literally hundreds of thousands of t-shirt vendors that you can order from, even custom print stuff. But if it's just a random item, like say, let's open this up and start going through some items as I talk. You know, like say, oh, 2 beat the hell up, rinky-dink, 11 by 17 posters. These are sourceable from almost anywhere. They're very cheap. This isn't something you're going to be delayed on, or something you should blame items to be delayed on. And we'll go over these probably later, because I want to really focus on what a curated crate is. Let's talk about this. Okay, so we have a coffee mug. This is from Kokla, which is from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Now this would be a custom printed item. So if the manufacturer you ordered this from messed up the logo, then pretty much all of them are going to be messed up and you have to return them, get new ones printed. This is something that you can blame on a vendor if it's messed up, or yourself if you gave them the wrong information. But let's say, I don't know, here's a little stress ball of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This isn't a custom item. This isn't anything special. This is something you grab out of the bargain bin for a buck or two and throw it in a crate as an extra. Now, trying to blame late shipments from vendors for an item like this is inexcusable, because there is a huge difference between a custom item and an item available in the open source. Alright, so what about this? Little Alien vs. Predator blind box item. These are old. These are not new. So these are not retail. These are more likely wholesaled out, and they're available in mass quantities. So again, if this is one of the items you're trying to blame on, say, oh, our vendors didn't come through for us, this is not an excuse. Alright, so let's move on to something else that a vendor or a mystery box subscription will use to try and buy time, and that is blaming their shipping service. Okay, you know, that seems plausible. You know, oh, our shipping service didn't get the boxes packed up. They didn't. Maybe they were missing an item. You know, so they're getting in on it. The problem with that is, especially with a box like this, this isn't any kind of custom shipping service or packing service. This is shipped through USPS. And Dread Central, in and of itself, does not use an outside source for this. So that means they pack their own boxes, they print their own USPS mailers. So when you blame a shipper for this, the only way that the shipper could be liable is if they decided not to pick up your boxes, which would be cured within a couple days, not 3 months. So you see where we're starting to fray at the edges. So both of those excuses were used in May. In June, they used the exact same excuses again, except they upped their ante to one of the most scammy excuses you can use, which everybody's been scammed before in some form or fashion, or if we've known people who've been scammed before, it happens to everybody, is that when you buy something from someone and they don't ship it, they use the ultimate get out of jail free card, which is a death in the family. I'm sorry we couldn't ship your items because we've had a death in the family. Oh, that sounds terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. My sympathies. Would be the line if it wasn't 2 months late already and you haven't used multiple excuses multiple times. Now, there may have been a death in the family, and it may have been horrendous and horrible, but you've already broken the bonds of trust, so how can anybody believe when you say that and use it as an excuse? You're not using it as, hey, there's a death in the family, as Dread Central, we're not going to be at conventions for the next 2 weeks. During that time, we'll be taking care of what is important to us. No, that didn't happen. The only thing that stopped was any progress on the mystery boxes. They still went about their day-to-day business, posting on Dread Central, attending conventions. The only thing that excuse serviced was to buy even more time. So, this takes us to late July, early August, where they posted, oh, the boxes are packed up and ready to go. This will be a May and June combo box. We're going to ship both of these out to you, and you're going to love the items you got because it's going to be so overpacked. And then they went radio silent for weeks. Almost a month. Almost until the last 3 weeks of July was just complete silence. And people still had hope. I had seen this many times before, and I knew this was going to be a fraudulent endeavor. So I immediately contacted my credit card company to dispute charges. Hey, dispute these last 2 months, and then had to do it again the next month because they snuck that other one in there. Now, yeah, you might ask, well, why didn't you just talk to them? I did. I tried emailing them. I've tried getting in touch with them from their website. They had refused to answer all customer service related items. You know, if you did a roundabout and went to Dread Central and asked them a question, you know, through their email, they would respond. But as soon as you mention Box of Dread, nothing. Nothing at all. Which should tell you pretty much everything you need to know. And then the other excuses started coming out of, oh, well, we fired all of our social media people. We just can't trust them, and they didn't answer your email, so I'm taking over, the owner. And then he didn't take over, and there was another week of silence. And then they did one of the most scammiest things, is that they went through USPS and printed postage. Sometime, I believe the last few days of July, early August. No, this was maybe August 18th, somewhere. I don't remember. It's in any case, they finally printed postage. Oh, we printed postage. We're waiting for the shippers to pick up your boxes, aka the USPS, which means all they had to do was hit a button when they printed out the postage that said, hey, pick these boxes up at X time at X place. Well, what happened was 2, maybe 3 weeks of nothing. Just empty postage. Just sitting there waiting to be picked up. And of course, when you contact them, they don't reply. They had an automated reply that offered you 40% off your next crate, which if you're not shipping the last 3 months of crates, why would you buy another crate? I don't know. And also during, I believe it was July, sometime early July, maybe second week or so, they came on and they decided to say, hey, we're going to make this right. We're going to give you a free item. Go to our web store, select your free item, and we'll mail it to you. Okay, that kind of sounds okay, you know. They realize they made a mistake at this time, and they're willing to give you a free item. Okay, let's check this out and see what they were going to give away for free. Obviously, they're not going to give away something expensive. So it was in the, I believe, $3, $4 range, something small, no big deal. So when you go to check out, then you get hit. So for your free item, they charge you $7 shipping, almost double what the item was worth to ship it to you. And needless to say, that didn't go over well at all. And from reading on the forums, the people who did actually select that have yet to receive any of their items. So again, it was just all one big stalling tactic. So late August rolls around, and I am one of the first because I'm probably one of the most vocally angry people. I am one of the first people who sees movement on their tracking. So I'm like, hey guys, I saw movement. It should be here within a couple days. I'll send you guys a picture to show, because by this time, this is 3 months now that's supposed to be packed in a box. Each month is supposed to get, I believe, 4 items. So 12 items total. Obviously, we did not get 12 items in this box. We ended up getting 8. And of those 8, 2 were bent, beat up 11 by 17 posters. So that just that didn't go over well. I posted the picture on the forums, and everybody's like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!" And as of today, we're what almost into the second week of September now, and there are people who are still waiting to get their items mailed to them. So this will be 4 months now that they've been waiting for items, and I don't know. This is just one of the worst experiences that anybody could have in a subscription box, because Dread Central isn't just the proprietor of the Box of Dread. Dread Central attends tons of conventions, and now that I remember, that was even one of their excuses of why they couldn't mail the crates. Not because they didn't have the items, they had already used up that excuse, and they had already pretended they had gotten them, but that they were busy. Now keep in mind, this is 2 to 3 months behind. They were too busy attending conventions on the weekends to mail you your stuff. You know, as a matter of fact, they stated that, well, we had been to 3 conventions in 3 weeks straight, and we just didn't have the time. We are overloaded. But you're not too overloaded to actually attend these conventions, to sell your product to people at the conventions, to try and sucker them in with 40% off coupons, to subscribe to your box that doesn't ship in order to, I don't know, make a quick buck. I don't understand the logic behind this, because the items we got obviously have almost nothing to do with the actual themes, the actual curation of the crates. This was just a bunch of shit packed into a box, thrown out the door, because finally the customer base had gotten so upset that they were contacting the Better Business Bureau, which is a waste of time. You know, the Better Business Bureau in and of itself is a oversight company that is voluntary, which means if you're not part of the Better Business Bureau, they can't do anything. And even if you are a part of the Better Business Bureau, the only thing they can do is lower your rating with the Better Business Bureau. So you can see how that is kind of an oxymoron of nothingness. You know, they really have no power to do anything. In any case, with any subscription box, what you really need to do is buy it with your credit card from a proprietor that you, one, trust, and as a second, that you trust your credit card, that you have a good relationship with them, because you may have to call that credit card and explain to them that, well, I'm retarded, I bought a mystery box sight unseen and it wasn't delivered, or it was fraudulently delivered with items that not as advertised. And if you're lucky like me, I use my USAA credit card as a former veteran, and these guys are a fucking great company to work with as far as chargebacks and things. They get to the root of the problem. They ask you questions. They don't treat you like you're retarded because, you know, you're buying a horror-themed mystery box online. But the last thing, let me talk about curated crates. Now, I have worked with Texas Frightmare and the Walker Stalker Con out in Nashville. In doing those, we have offered through vendors what we like to call, or what everybody really likes to call, curated crates. Now, really what that means is we're taking names of people, like, say, what is her name? Like is this Kit Carson? This is, no, Caroline Williams. Like Caroline Williams, like Kane Hodder, and Derek Dennis Herbert. You know, directors, actors, people of name value. You know, like with Kane Hodder. Now, I know he does Walker Stalker conventions quite a bit. He's a pretty popular guy. Played Jason in some of the better Friday the 13th, or at least some of my favorite ones. And basically, we get these guys, and we pay them money. Hey, here is X amount of dollars. We're going to use your name, or there's two different ways, but let me go through the first one first. X amount of dollars to use your name to basically advertise what we're trying to sell. Now, sometimes the actual person will want to curate the crate, which is positive and negative, because a lot of times they like to select expensive stuff because their name's on it. The people who care, at least, their name's on it. They want quality. Sometimes people who put their names on stuff don't give a shit. Just give me my check, throw whatever you want in it. And they'll write, you know, a nice little letter saying how they've always enjoyed and how they respect the company, blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, these letters aren't written by them. They're written by someone from the company, basically trying to upsell you on that company. Now, the other way that celebrities are paid for curated crates is by percentages. Now, let's say you are a smaller company and you really, really want a name on your crate. So instead of just throwing money at them, because you may not have the lump sum of money needed, is that you find a celebrity who's not hugely popular, it's going to be expensive, but you offer them money and a percentage. So let's say you offer Mr. Hodder here. Let's say you are a smaller company. Mr. Hodder, I love your work. We would like to do a curated crate with you. Here's what we do. Now, maybe his fee is a little high, so you try to negotiate that. Well, Mr. Hodder, we can't give you $5,000 to curate this crate, but we can give you $2,500 and 5% of each crate sold. How does that sound? We're looking to move at least 500 to 1,000 units. You know, it's not really what you want, but it's enough to really kind of get them interested. Maybe not Kane Hodder interested, but to get some of them interested. And then, of course, you throw a bunch of crap on a crate, you write a letter, and you put their picture on it. They really don't receive anything except the money, and that is what it is. That is the dark secret of curated crates for the most part. Now, there are some good companies that really value the people that they represent as far as curation goes, but those are going to be few and far between. In any case, fraudulent, deceptive business practices, courtesy of Dread Central and the Box of Dread. If you're looking for horror stuff, stay far, far away, because here's really what's going to happen. These guys are getting chargebacks, they're getting all kinds of hate, but in 6 months, they're going to wipe all of that away from their Facebook. As a new customer, when you look at this, you're not going to see any of that unless you come across this video. You're just going to see them as a business proprietor selling a niche product that you are kind of interested in. Until, well, you get suckered and you get defrauded. So, I guess it is what it is. You got to be careful out there. The subscription box and mystery box service as a whole is really the wild, wild west, because anybody can go to Cratejoy, create an account, and do limited number crates. You know, say 100 here, 150, or start their own website, advertise for crates, and offer the sun and the moon just to steal your money. In any case, guys, that's this review of the Box of Dread, and my complete and utter hope that you stay as far, far away from them as possible. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and you be awesome.